U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken told Russian Foreign Minister Sergey Lavrov to end the war.
I told the foreign minister what I and so many others said last week at the United Nations and what so many G20 foreign ministers said today. End this war of aggression. Engage in meaningful diplomacy that can produce a just and durable peace.
The meeting of politicians from around the world in India was overshadowed by the heaviness of the war in Ukraine. Canadian Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly made the trip for the conferences too. India, which holds the presidency of the bloc this year, has declined to blame Russia for the war and has sought a diplomatic solution while sharply boosting its purchases of Russian oil.
We should not allow issues that we cannot resolve together to come in the way of those we can.
We may not always be of one mind. In fact, there are some matters of sharp differences of opinions and views. Yet, we must find common ground and provide direction, because that is what the world expects of us.
European and U.S. delegates in New Delhi for the foreign ministers' meeting have, however, reiterated that they hold Russia responsible for the conflict. Lavrov arrived in New Delhi earlier this week for the meetings. The war in Ukraine and spiraling U.S.-China tensions dominated the meetings, with host India hoping that issues like climate change and third world debt are not overlooked. Today and yesterday's meetings being held days after a meeting of finance chiefs of the bloc, where they wrangled over condemning Russia for the war and failed to reach a consensus on a joint statement, instead settling for a summary document. While Blinken did not intend to speak with Russia's minister, he had plenty to say after their conversation.
I urged Russia to reverse its irresponsible decision and return to implementing the New START Treaty, which places verifiable limits on the nuclear arsenals of the United States and the Russian Federation. Mutual compliance is in the interest of both our countries. It's also what people around the world expect from us as nuclear powers. I told the foreign minister that no matter what else is happening in the world or in our relationship, the United States will always be ready to engage and act on strategic arms control, just as the United States and the Soviet Union did even at the height of the Cold War.
He also had a message for China, the country he says is potentially considering supplying lethal military assistance to Russia.
Were China to engage in material lethal support for Russia's aggression, or were to engage in the systematic evasion of sanctions to help Russia, that would be a serious problem for our countries.
The undeniable tension among leaders from around the world ever evident.